Episode 2. The First Descent. The faint light of dawn bled into the sky, casting a pale hue over the desolate streets of Ames. Mike Oxbig had just started the ignition of the police cruiser when a sudden scream cut through the morning calm, a chilling reminder that the nightmare was far from over. Gripping the steering wheel tighter, Mike contemplated his next move. Des Moines was still miles away, a beacon of hope amid chaos, but the journey promised its own horrors. As he drove cautiously down the suburban streets, the cruiser's headlights illuminated scenes of despair: overturned cars, abandoned toys, and doorways standing ajar as if in silent testament to the swift catastrophe that had overtaken the town. The radio crackled intermittently with static, occasionally breaking into fragments of emergency broadcasts long since gone silent. Turning onto what had once been a bustling main street, Mike's heart pounded as he scanned for signs of life or the undead. His grip on the steering wheel faltered when a figure darted across the road. Slowing the vehicle, he squinted through the windshield, trying to discern if it was human or something else. Before he could decide, a harrowing scene unfolded before him. A woman, unmistakably human, stumbled from an alley, her screams piercing the air. She was being chased by a group of zombies, their grotesque forms gaining on her with relentless hunger. Panic surged through Mike as he watched, frozen, the cruiser idling in the middle of the road. The woman's eyes met Mike's as she fell to the ground, the undead just feet away. Their gazes locked in a moment of shared terror. The scene was horrific. The woman's hands reached out toward him as the zombies descended upon her. Even from his distance, past her blood-drenched face, Mike could see the desperation in her eyes, her mouth moving rapidly as if uttering a silent plea. Mike ducked down in his seat, heart racing, fear overwhelming his senses. He wanted to help, to save her, but he knew he was too late. The sounds of the struggle were muffled by the closed windows of the cruiser, yet they echoed monstrously in his mind. When he finally dared to look again, the street was ominously quiet, the woman's cries silenced, only the haunting shuffle of the undead filling the air. Shaken to his core, Mike drove away from the scene, the image of the woman's reaching hand imprinted in his mind. Her eyes, wide with fear, haunted him, and her silent words began a torturous echo in his ears. Who was she? Could he have saved her? The weight of his inaction pressed down on him, a heavy cloak of guilt and sorrow. The journey continued, mile after desolate mile, the landscape a blur of gray and green. Mike's thoughts spiraled, the woman's face invading every moment of silence. As he navigated the empty highways, the sparse landscape gave way to urban sprawl, the signs of Des Moines appearing like whispers of civilization amidst the chaos. Nightfall was approaching when Mike finally pulled over at an abandoned gas station on the outskirts of the city. He needed to rest, to process the day's horrors. As he settled into the back of the cruiser, the woman's face visited him again, this time in his dreams. Her words became a muffled whisper, growing clearer with each repetition, yet still indecipherable. The nightmare jerked him from sleep, his body slick with sweat, the echo of her plea ringing in his ears. The next morning found Mike weary but resolved. He couldn't shake the feeling that the woman's final words held some significance, a message or a warning. He replayed the scene over and over, each detail a clue to the puzzle that his mind refused to solve. The vision of her being torn apart by what once were humans, now mindless predators, replayed relentlessly, a loop of terror and helplessness. As he prepared to continue his journey into Des Moines, the weight of solitude bore down on him. The road ahead promised no relief from the horrors behind. Each mile brought him closer to the supposed safe haven, each turn a potential ambush. But the image of the woman, her outstretched hands, and her silent words drove him forward. They were a gnawing reminder of what he had lost and what he still might save. Mike Oxbig, once a mere spectator of fictional apocalypses, was now a survivor in a reality far grimmer than his darkest fantasies. As he drove into the heart of Des Moines, the city's skyline a silhouette against the rising sun, he braced for the challenges ahead, haunted by the past, but clinging to a sliver of hope for the future. The echo of the woman's plea filled the cruiser, a spectral presence that would not be silenced. This wraps up this episode of Last Stand, Chronicles of the Forsaken. The next episode will be determined by your decisions. Make sure to answer in the comments below to continue the story and to like and subscribe for more tales. Until next time, bye.